Hey, it's Ben Hassel here, and here in this review we're going to have a look at a couple of new microphones I'm going to be using for some of my teaching. So basically one thing that I've been trying to do for a little while is do a bit more teaching and recording of video tutorials that is outside of my studio. This allows me to go into kind of co-working spaces and stuff like that. And also when I'm delivering training workshops, I like to record the kind of important bits. So if I'm running through something in Photoshop or Final Cut Pro 10, I'll record each kind of step of my demonstrations as a video to kind of share with the class afterwards. So that's nice because it includes any specific answers to specific questions that those students have. But I found that carrying my blue snowball around has meant that the head that should rotate kind of nice and smoothly has broken. So basically it's kind of a little bit loose and I've had to duct tape it to my studio setup. So I've been on the lookout for a new microphone for a little while, and I was asked to test out two of the FIFINE microphones. That's what we're going to have a look at today. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a review of the sound quality and also importantly for me, the portability of them. So, you know, can you drop them in a bag with your laptop so that you can then kind of bring them to a class to record the demonstrations that you're doing for students. So the first mic that we're going to look at is the one that I'm recording with now, which is this kind of gooseneck microphone. So basically, on this microphone, we have a kind of few different settings. We have a mute button, which I can press. Unmute it. So now you should be able to hear me again. And I also have a volume control here as well. So basically I can increase and decrease the volume as I'm recording on the microphone as well. There's a couple of things I like about this microphone. It's nice and easy to kind of bring close to your voice when you're doing a screen recording, so you get really good sound for that. The thing I'm not so sure about is the portability of it, although it's lightweight. It feels like basically when you're carrying it around or kind of trying to drop it into a bag, it might not work that well. So this microphone is great. I've used it a little bit for a couple of the intros I've done, syncing it up with footage from my RX100 5. And I've also been using it with screen recordings, and I've been doing on my MacBook Pro. So basically it kind of runs in through the USB there. So we're going to just pause the recording for a second and have a little bit more of a look at how we plug this microphone in, which means the sound is going to be from either my camera, my iPhone, which I'm using, or from the MacBook Pro as internal microphones. So we'll see a kind of little dip in the sound quality now. So just going to pause the recording here. So now I have this unplugged. You can see one of the disadvantages for newer MacBook Pros is that we need to go, it doesn't have a USB-C connector, which I'm sure is pretty much the same for most of these kind of USB microphones. We're using the older style USB connector for this to plug it in. So that does mean you need to have an adapter to plug it into, but normally I'm carrying this around anyway for plugging into HDMI and also for kind of reading off SD cards as well. So it's not too much of a big deal to actually plug it in. So you can see this is my USB-C to USB adapter, and then the microphones will just plug into one of the regular USB ports that I have here. So that works pretty well. So this next microphone is also from FIFINE. So basically we've got this second microphone. As I mentioned, I'm using the blue snowball previously for most of my tutorials, and that is now kind of permanently attached to my desk. So the nice thing about this mic is it feels a little bit heavier weight. So basically we've got a slightly heavier weight microphone here. We have the little volume control here as well, which we also have on the Gooseneck microphone as well. So basically we can kind of modify the levels that are coming in through the microphone, and then again just a regular kind of USB plug-in for the microphones. And then we also have the kind of stand for this as well. So the thing I like about this microphone is the kind of cardboard box that it comes in. So basically we've got a nice padded box, and I think this would be useful for being able to drop it in a bag. I can see the cardboard box lasting a little while as we're working with it. The thing I'm not so sure about is that basically it's a little bit heavier. So there is that, and also the Gooseneck microphone does mean you can get really close to your voice as well. So that is going to get for potentially better recordings in louder situations, so which sometimes my classrooms can be, but normally it works out okay. So we'll just get this set up. I haven't used this one yet. I've mostly been using the Gooseneck one. So I've got quite a nice long USB cable for both of these, so you can get these a good distance away from your computer. I'm not sure of the USB length, but I would say it's probably somewhere close to 1 meter. And we will plug the USB in here, and we'll plug the USB into the laptop. And then we'll pause this recording now and jump in and have a listen to this microphone. So let's stop this. So both these microphones pop up as a USB PNP device. I can see the levels control kind of increasing and decreasing my levels, so I don't want to get any audio pops, so we'll just kind of moderate that down a little bit. Sometimes when you're doing a screen recording, you can't actually see the levels on the Mac in the kind of built-in screen recording software, so you just need to be a little bit mindful of that and kind of how you manage your voice. But this again looks pretty good. Normally I will have my laptop placed in front of me, so it's nice and compact. I could see this working well, and we'll have a look at how the sound is when I kind of listen back to it. But basically, the one thing I would say about this is it's a little harder to maybe move it to one side and then still get the microphone close to your mouth. So I do like that about the Gooseneck microphone, that you can really kind of get it nice and close if you need to get it nice and close. So again, this is nice, it's nice and compact. The thing that I do like about it is that it will go into this neat little box that we can then use. And as I mentioned, I'm trying to kind of make things more compact. So I'm recording the camera 2 with my iPhone, and I'm recording the kind of smaller footage with my RX100 V, which I was previously recording the kind of intros to my videos with my Canon XA20, which is a bit of a bigger camera, and setting it up in my mini house here basically took up too much space. I'm trying to compact things down. So let's have a little listen to both of these. I'm just going to reel off a quick sentence with one microphone, and then try and kind of keep my voice level the same for the next microphone. So we're now just going to reel off a quick sentence, then we'll say the same sentence into the other microphone. So if you ever learn how to touch type, you'll recognize this sentence, which is: the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Basically includes all the letters in the alphabet. So we'll get this unplugged, pop this to one side. So I can instantly see with the Gooseneck microphone that because the mic is so close to my mouth here, that I'm having to kind of moderate the levels down a little bit. So trying to speak with the same voice for this next sentence. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So that's a typing lesson again. And we'll have a listen back to those, see if there's any differences. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So I will say that pulling this out of the box, it's definitely a bit heavier to work with, which is not necessarily an issue if you're not traveling far, but if you're trying to keep the weight of your baggage down or something like that, if you're traveling and creating videos, and this is definitely a little bit heavier. Also, I just wanted to show how this kind of packs up before we finish up. So basically we've got our little feet that fold up. One nice thing about this is that if we did want to mount it onto another stand, so an armature or something like that, I'm using something similar for my blue snowball, then we could do that. So let's just close this up. We'll wrap this cable up, and you'll see that once this is all compacted up, it should slip relatively easily back into the box from whence it came. So we can get this nicely back into the box along with the stand, the little stand, and all that's not kind of super perfect. I think that's going to work well for just dropping it into the bag with my laptop and stuff like that. Whereas I'm worried that the Gooseneck one, just over time from shoving it in a laptop bag, is not going to survive as well as this. That's a consideration if you are going to be traveling with your microphone. That although this is heavier, it's definitely going to be a bit more durable in a bag-like situation. So this is a quick overview of these two microphones. I definitely think this is my kind of choice of microphone to throw into my bag and use, just because of the durability of the box. But again, also I do like the way that we can get this kind of Gooseneck microphone nice and close to the voice as we're recording for video tutorials, for kind of intros and stuff like that. I also, for some of my on-camera tutorials, I would basically hold the mic just a little bit down, out of shot, and that seemed to work quite well for a couple of the intros that I did, and I still got a decent level of audio. So again, this kind of microphone is maybe a little bit easier to kind of move around in that respect, rather than having always to have a lav mic attached to you to kind of get good quality sound as you're recording the video as well. So we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you found this useful, and I do look forward to seeing it on the next video.